Hey, welcome into the Monday edition, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this very cold Monday morning. Hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. Joe Rexrode, how we doing? What's going on?
I'm doing okay, but, I come here for this is the only place that I can get ESPN, and I can't even get it here. Like, ESPN is just out of my life.
Yep.
I'm actually okay.
That's good.
I'm just going to go to bed tonight. You tell me how the game goes.
I will.
I'm just going to go to bed and get you more sleep. Thanks, YouTube TV and ESPN. You lousy sons of bitches.
It's far. How we doing? What's
Good morning.
going on?
I'm doing just fine, thanks. It was a nice, relaxing weekend of not watching the Titans.
Yeah.
Picks went okay. We'll see about tonight. I need Eagles to pull through for me.
Thanks.
I mean, Robbie'd be perfect, if not for Vrabel.
Yeah.
He continues to just destroy it.
Yeah. We should. I kind of piggybacked off Robbie on that one. Maybe we should stop picking against Vrabel at this point.
Yeah, you let me down.
We got a Vrabel segment today, by the way.
We do.
Okay, fun. But yeah, doing good. Had a good weekend. It is a little chilly out there though.
It is.
So get the coat out. But yeah.
Very cold.
Yes.
Very cold. It will warm up later this
Sub-freezing.
week, they say. So looking forward to that.
Just a little taste of what's to come, I guess.
Yes. We got a lot of things going on the program today. Cory Curtis from News 2 will be with us at 8 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on the Titans as they're coming off the bye week. Get his thoughts on a busy weekend of NFL action as well. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean at 8:30. The Nashville Predators in New York tonight, taking on the Rangers. And then they're off to Sweden to take on Pittsburgh for a couple of games. And a lot of losing going on right now for the Nashville Predators, which is not good. So we will get into that from Alex and see what could be in store in the not too distant future with the Nashville Predators a little bit later in the show. Joe, we begin, though, on the NFL front. And by the way, we will get into Vanderbilt and Auburn coming up here in just a few minutes because what a wild game that was over the weekend.
Indeed.
So we will get into that coming up here shortly. Good weekend in the NFL for the underdogs. Good weekend in the NFL, frankly, for the Tennessee Titans. If you're a fan out there that's looking forward to the draft order coming up, the Titans now currently hold the number one pick in the NFL after this weekend. The Saints win. The Jets win. The Dolphins win to get to 3 wins down there against the Buffalo Bills. By the way, Dolphins 30-13 at home against Buffalo. So I cannot, for
what a league,
the life of me, figure out the Buffalo Bills. It's not the first time they've had just a horrific loss this year. Good weekend for the underdogs. Again, the Jets get the win against the Cleveland Browns. They put up 27 while doing so against that Cleveland Browns team. If you're a Titans fan that's focused on nothing at the moment but the number one overall pick, it was a nice, solid weekend for you in the National Football League.
Yeah, the Jets sell off all their good players, and it's just roll. It's just I guess nothing but winning for the Jets. So, yeah, you are now. I mean, it really couldn't have gone much better, I don't think, because I mean the Jets just don't have that many opportunities, I don't think, for wins. And the Browns was one. The Browns sitting there too. They got potential too. Let's not count out those Cleveland Browns for that top pick.
By the way, can I point out how amazing it is that the Jets won the game 27-20, and their quarterback? Let me read the stat line to you. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay. Justin Fields. This is the only passing offense they have in the game, by the way. 6 of 11, 54 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
My goodness.
They won the game.
And they won. They
scored 27 points.
It's wild. I mean, again, like you said, Dolphins blowing out the Bills is wild. The Colts, I thought for a while, I watched that game, I was like, this is going to be just beautiful. They go all in, and then they can't beat the Falcons. But to their credit, I mean, they made the plays late. They got it done. I mean, we had 2 44-22 games yesterday.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
I was not impressed with Penix. He missed some throws.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he's just a little bit too erratic, I agree.
He missed a couple of easy throws. Kurt Warner a couple of times is like, oh, that's one he'd like to have back.
Yeah.
You said that like 3 times in the game, bro.
Yeah. There was that one, I know the one you're talking about. I wonder if the receiver should have sat down in the zone, but still, I think he's just pretty good. I don't think he's going to be great.
By the way, Jonathan Taylor, 32 carries, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns.
He's great.
Good for your fantasy team there. Hey, Robbie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh God,
Enjoyed it.
yeah.
Have some of that, Kuharski.
Oh, good. Well, that makes me feel better then. I didn't really want you to win, but if you're playing Kaharski, sure. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is, I mean, he's incredible right now. So, just if you are the combo, and I assume maybe some of our Colts people are this, I don't know. Let us know.
Yep.
I never really talk about them, but if you're the combo Colts Hoosiers fan right now, like almost the same game, where it's like you get sacked late, you're screwed, it's over, and then you have this crazy drive. So what a life it must be.
By the way, can I point out, I mean, this was very predictable. I should have gone with this in Pigskin Pick'em because I fully expected it. Carolina Panthers go on the road last week to Lambeau Field and beat Green Bay, and then they lose 17-7 at home to the New Orleans Saints.
I've kind of just assumed they're bad all along, but then every once in a while you're like, well, wait, maybe they are good. I don't know. They're like as erratic as it comes.
I don't think Bryce Young had a good game either.
He did not. He was 17-25, 124 yards, 1 pick, quarterback rating of 62.8, had the fumble. Tyler Shuck, 19-27, 282, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
For the Saints.
Well, that's one of those things where if you're the Titans, you're a Titans fan, you want as many quarterback needy teams as possible. So like you'd rather see Tyler Shuck suck.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And like the Saints be among the teams that would want to come up and go get Fernando Mendoza, who, by the way, I know we're going to get in this later, but hey, that guy's pretty good, man. That guy's pretty good.
Pretty good. Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Chad in Hendersonville to the program. Chad, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Oh, thank you. Good stuff as always. This is going to be maybe the first, or maybe you've had a few first on this topic that is going to become potentially the only thing that talk radio is going to be about for a year. So you're welcome for me bringing that up, but get ready for that. You talk about a burnout factor, and it is simply this. Fernando Mendez, do I got that right?
Mendoza. Like the Mendoza line.
There you go. He's going to be the number 1 pick, and he's prototype across the board. You could say Joe Burrow comp, the comps are, he's 6'5", absolute prototype, like a big time number 1 pick. And that's where this whole draft is headed. And if you don't think, the best thing the Titans got going is they're going to have a new regime coming in. And if you don't think that's the number 1 pick for the Titans, you couldn't be more wrong. And that's going to be a discussion. It's like, hey, can we just use the number 1 pick on Cam Ward? Could we do this again? 100% is the answer. And you have a 0 football IQ if you don't think that's the answer. And I was in with Kaharski on this years ago, where he thought the Vikings had to go, the Titans had to go all in and staying with Marcus Mariota back in the day, when I thought they should have pivoted. But the point is this. This is the guy. This is Joe Burrow. This is your franchise quarterback. This is opening a stadium with potentially a top 3. This is Drake May falling in your lap, and you have to pivot on this. And if you're going to double down on Cam Ward and draft a defensive end at number 1, you have 0 hope. This is where the whole franchise is going to come down to for the next 20 years. Are they going to – and I think a new guy comes in and says, hey, I'm taking my guy. I'm going to probably have to move off Cam Ward. And if that happens, the future is very bright for the Titans. And this is not 50, 50, 51, 54. This is 100%, bro. 100%.
Thank you, Chad.
And history will prove that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, hey, I like the conviction of the take.
Me too.
We need to calm the hell down that Fernando Mendoza is
Joe Burrow.
He's Drake. He's good. He's a good player. I mean, he probably he's moving himself into position to be this year's number 1 quarterback. I don't know. What do you think? You tell me your opinion of that opinion.
Well, I told you a few weeks ago, if it continues to be this bad, we're going to hear about a lot of quarterbacks that people want from Titans standpoint. I don't think they're going that route. He talks about the new regime coming in. I mean, it's the same general manager that picked Cam Ward that's going to be there. So
yeah, the new coach is
coming in.
I mean, I guess if they brought in like I guess it depends on who the new coach would be in
Yeah.
terms of like, okay, if I'm taking this job, like if I'm Mike McCarthy, how much I got to say, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Look,
But it's still the new same GM.
And I'm not saying you totally close the door to that, right? Like if you go through your evaluation and you're like, well, you know what? We do think Fernando Mendoza is the next Joe Burrow. Like, well, okay, well then maybe. But didn't you kind of just say that about Cam Ward drafting him when you did, right? So I would put the chances of the Titans drafting a quarterback at number 1 overall at about 2%. That's where I've got it.
Yeah. Trevor says it's too early for that. LOL. Colin Shelbyville. Damn, I have 0 football IQ. Jude on the on the YouTube chat, like, no, this call is 0 football IQ. Let's look. What's the caller's name again?
Chad.
Don't do the 0 football IQ thing, man. You don't know. We don't know. No one knows. Borgonzi doesn't know. Okay, the football gods don't know. Is this guy going to be great? Is Cam Ward going to work out? Is Mendoza going to be amazing? You don't know, man. I mean, look, that's fine if that's your opinion. You may end up being right. You cannot sit here and watch some Indiana football for like 2/3 of a season and know without a shadow of a doubt. You have to be a football moron to think you can't possibly pass this guy up. Come on.
615.
That's just like your opinion, man.
Nice.
Thank you.
615-737-1025.
But it's an interesting take.
That's our phone number. Well, we're going to get into that in the 7 o'clock hour. Going to be a lot of takes on the quarterback front. How is the college football quarterback situation shaping up that could help the Titans at the number 1 overall pick? I guess be that if you think they should take one of these guys, or if you think, like I think most Titans fans do, that they should trade out of the pick. We will get into that in the 7 o'clock hour. But coming up next, the Vanderbilt Commodores survive in overtime against the Auburn Tigers over the weekend. Rexrode was there. We'll get his thoughts on another thrilling game for Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's head to our phone line. Welcome in Mark in Nashville to the program. Mark, good morning, buddy. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's up, Robby? What's up, Uncle Joe?
What's up, Mark?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good,
I know
man.
y'all getting ready to talk about Vanderbilt. Joe, I thought I saw you on TV at the game, sir, and I didn't know, man. It's one of them moments I looked, then you were gone. Was that Joe Rexrode? But I guess you were at the game, Joe. But
I was in the
hey,
press
man,
box. Was it a shot from the press box?
no, I thought I saw you in the crowd, Joe. It wasn't the press box. Yeah, I thought I saw you in the crowd,
Crowd
Joe.
surfing.
I
But
got doppelgangers.
yeah. Oh, yeah. But, hey, hell of a game Saturday, man. 377, 112 yards rushing by Diego Pavia. Robby, I thought that game right there, and even go back to the game previous week against Texas when he put that comeback in the mix on Texas. This guy ought to be rated a lot higher. He ought to be number 2 behind Mendoza as far as the Heisman race. He's carrying that team on his back. Stowers had a great game, over 100 yards. Stowers took some big licks in that game, Joe, but he held on to the football.
Yep.
They needed Missouri. I said that Friday. They needed Missouri to win. If they had Missouri won that game Saturday against Texas A&M, which they didn't, that would look good for Vanderbilt getting back into the playoffs. That was really the last team that could help Vanderbilt, Joe, because they were ranked like 22nd at the time, Joe and Robby. So Missouri lost in a big way Saturday to Texas A&M, but Pavia had a heck of a game. And I thought Coleman, the wide receiver for Auburn, that's a star in the making, man.
He's a stud. He's a stud.
He needs to hit the transfer portal. Daniels had a great game. Auburn had a great game plan coming into that, but Coleman's he's a beast, man. Only a sophomore. But Robby, Joe, who was Mel Kiper? Was that Mel Kiper Jr. called y'all on the radio earlier? I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, man, look, okay, Mendoza had a big play to Omar Cooper to end the game against Penn State. That was a close game. But, man, you can't just give up on Cam and say this guy is the next Joe Burrow. They say the same thing about this quarterback up at UConn, Joe. I don't know if anybody's seen him. He's a heck of a quarterback, but they call him the next Joe Burrow. But, you know, I didn't know if y'all knew Mel Kiper Jr. or not this morning, man. But I'm going to disagree with all that, what he said about that. I'm not going to give up on Cam, and maybe the next regime will come in here with a coach who not only knows how to call plays, but knows the rules of the game, too. So, hey, man, good cold morning out here, Joe. Drinking some hot chocolate, man, some bear milk, Joe. Robby, y'all have a good day, man. We'll go head on down to Atlanta.
Thank you, Mark.
All right,
Appreciate you,
stay
man.
warm.
Absolutely.
All right.
Chad
See you,
McShay.
man.
Chad McShay, is that right?
Oh, nice. I like that. Well, we will, again, we'll get into the quarterback part of this a little bit later in the show, but a lot of thoughts on that on the text line so far. So we will get into that a little bit later. As Mark mentioned, Diego Pavia, 25 of 33, 377 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns for Vanderbilt, and also had 112 yards on the ground, another touchdown. So just an electric performance from Diego Pavia against Auburn. And Joe, they needed every last bit of it in that game because Auburn's offense came alive and looked better than they've looked all year long in the aftermath of the firing of Hugh Freeze. I wondered what we'd see from Auburn in the game. And for a minute, it looked like Auburn may run Vanderbilt out of the building. And then Vanderbilt, to their credit, mounted a comeback after that. Joe, you were there. What stood out to you about Vanderbilt's performance and the ability for them to survive, get to 8-2, and remain in the college football playoff discussion?
Yeah, one thing, to go back to Mark's call there, he's talking about Missouri, and by the way, great pick by me. Good pick by you in that game. But yeah, I should,
Have some of that drink.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also he's on his 3rd quarterback. The thing is, I thought that kid looked good, for on a couple drives at Vanderbilt, but obviously, without Prebula, they're very limited. But one thing that I would correct Mark on is, I mean, the Tennessee game is a huge win if you get it. Now, I watch Vanderbilt's defense right now, and I'm going to say the same thing I said last week. I don't like their chances right now to stop Tennessee. Now, their offense is, I mean, it absolutely saved them. And here's the thing. As bad as Auburn has been offensively, first of all, I know Auburn fans are like, oh, gee, so Hugh Freeze leaves. He's not calling plays anymore. And by the way, that kid actually can play Unlike the
receiver
quarterback
was
that
legit.
Well, yeah, and Cam Coleman is a stud. He's going to be a high pick next year. I mean, what a receiver draft 27 is going to be. But
you were talking the quarterback.
What's that?
You were talking the quarterback, Auburn?
Yeah, well, I mean, they changed to Ashton Daniels, and it's like, oh, wow, quarterback who can play. So that's Auburn. That's their side of it. They have been an awful offense all year. It was another bad performance by Vanderbilt's defense. There's no lipstick on that pick. Also, Auburn's defense is elite.
Yeah.
Like Auburn's defense is, along with Indiana, Ohio State, has given up, the only defenses have not given up more than 24. Like all of their numbers. And look who they played. Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas A&M. They stuffed all those teams. And Vanderbilt destroyed that defense. And the thing is, and this game was, like, it was chippy before. Like Auburn did not Auburn came out like some of those teams you see, and we talked about it last week, where the coach gets fired and they are fired up and they put everything into this game. And so all of which is to say, Vanderbilt's defense, and I tweeted this out yesterday, has given up 991 yards and 8 touchdowns the last 2 games, which is not good.
No.
Especially because, again, Auburn's offense has been terrible and Texas's has not been good. Meanwhile, though, Pavia has, on his own, 897 yards of offense and 8 touchdowns, 742 and 6 passing, 155 and 2 rushing. I mean, Pavia, for people who are paying attention as Heisman voters, like, he's my number 2 now. He has elevated himself with these 2 games because he's carrying his team. Like, there's nobody carrying a team more than this guy is right now. What does it mean? Again, they're going to have to win an absolute shootout in Knoxville. And also, I don't know, is Kentucky going to – I mean, maybe Kentucky comes in here and gives them a problem.
They just destroyed Florida.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, wow, Kentucky is playing good football. But the bottom line, it was an amazing game, amazing atmosphere, and it's pretty cool for the Vanderbilt fan that the dream continues, even if this team is far from perfect.
Can I say something? Late in the game in regulation, Vanderbilt went for it. Was it 4th and 2? I think it was 4th and 2.
No, it's 4th and probably less than 1.
4th and less than, okay. So, and that was a play where Pavia stumbled and he didn't get it. I saw Vanderbilt fans mad about the decision to go for it rather than kicking the field goal. I loved it because if you pick up that first down, which they had been doing all day, by the way, if you pick up the first down, you're running the clock out, you're kicking the field goal, and you're walking off the field without ever having gone to overtime. So I thought that was the great call. It just didn't work out on that play. I would have called that 10 times out of 10 if I'm Clark Lee.
So, yeah, I needed you in the press box with me because Gentry and I were just going back and forth on that one. He's like, oh, that's terrible. I'm like, okay, so let's say they make the field goal from 45 yards, which is no gimme. So now this Auburn offense that's going up and down the field and you has a minute 15?
Like a minute 15
that's
left.
enough time to go get a touchdown, or you miss the field goal and you're really screwed. I
just pick up a play and you win the game. That's what it is there.
Exactly. No, I 100% agree. It was the right call. At this point, if you're Clark Lee, and after the game, look, he's right. The defense got to stop at the end. His defense got to stop in overtime. They had a great call on the last play where they bailed out and doubled Cam Coleman, and he threw it, and I think he kind of – and then he sailed it. It was a great defensive call. But, I mean, if you're Clark Lee, you have to have total trust in your offense and very little in your defense right now.
Yeah. Again, Pavia, 377 through the air, 112 on the ground. If you're wondering, and I'm looking at the FanDuel Sportsbook, the odds for the Heisman Trophy, Julian Sayin, the favorite right now, quarterback of Ohio State, at plus 160. Mendoza at number 2, right behind him at plus 170. Then Ty Simpson, then Marcel Reed, Pavia at number 5 on the list right now.
Yeah, Marcel Reed definitely deserves more attention. Sayin's really interesting, man, because and I guess you could say the same for Simpson. I just feel like Simpson has been more dynamic, but it's just that whole is it really hard to stand there and just play catch with pros? And I know that doesn't give him credit because he is very good. He's very good. He's accurate. The ball's up. But I just have my doubts that he's going to get the votes because of that mindset.
No, I think you could be absolutely right. I mean, you mentioned Cam Coleman to pivot from the Heisman conversation.
He's a stud.
The touchdown catch he had late in that game was just crazy. It's just a crazy play that he made.
One-handed.
Lefty, one-handed.
Tipped it to himself.
Yeah.
And then still grabbed it.
Yeah, and it was clean. Just clean. And they didn't even have to look at it.
With the defender all over him.
Yeah. It was
just
nuts. and he ends up with 10 for 143 and a touchdown.
Yeah, he's really good. And again, I mean, I'm watching Ashton Dance. Yeah, he'd been at Stanford. I mean, Stanford's been terrible. I mean, it's not like, basically he was one of those like, okay, we need a veteran, to give us some insurance at quarterback.
They
So
brought up in the broadcast that quarterback in Alec Eilmanor putting up all those points against Colorado. They mentioned that. I guess Zarzer was doing the game, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So I guess he brought in the Titans connection there.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, he brought that up. So I guess the dude can put up some numbers.
I mean, I'm watching him and I'm like, Hugh, you might still have a job, man. Like no KYP, know your personnel.
615-737-1025. I bet his golf game's looking good right now. I bet Hugh got in some golf over the weekend too.
Apparently, according to the message boards, Hugh sometimes just goes to the golf course and watches people golf.
What?
That is loving golf.
Go to the Golf Channel. Great.
What
615-737-1025.
Tally
It's our
ho!
phone number, 615-737-1025. Vanderbilt survives against Auburn, and the college football playoff still alive for the Vanderbilt Commodores. We'll take your thoughts on that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Diego, what are the emotions like after that wild overtime win?
It's unique. You don't get many opportunities like this. Our guys fought to the end. You see it here. And And, it's just head, body. That's what we preach in there. And that's just mean next play, go to next play.
What was going through your mind when you guys don't convert on that fourth down and you give Auburn another chance?
I ended up cramping there towards the end. No excuse. I should have got it. That's on me for all the nail biting in this stadium, But we'll get better. We're a unique team this year. And, we got to win these last two to go to the college football playoff.
You personally have beat Auburn 3 times. What's the secret to your success against this team?
I think when someone don't recruit you, that's a secret. But I want to also tell everyone about Jesus. He's the main superstar in this story. The whole team believes. We're just trying to step his way.
Well, your team certainly stood behind you tonight, and your sister as well. So congratulations on the win, Diego.
I want to tell people about my sister too. 2029 point guard coming out. She's unique.
Well, congratulations to the Pavia family.
Thank you. God bless everyone around the world.
I tell you what, it's never boring with Diego Pavia, and he's speaking.
He got a lot in there.
He did.
He got a lot done.
That went on there.
And
We got a little evangelism. We got some recruiting going on for the sister.
Yeah.
Some
Medical
shots taken at Auburn.
updates.
Yeah.
Medical update. Yeah.
Shots taken at Auburn for not recruiting him. A lot of things happening in that post-game interview there.
God bless you all, except all you people at Auburn who didn't recruit me. And anybody who doesn't recruit my sister.
Tell you what, Auburn probably excited to see him go, huh? It's like,
Yeah,
man,
I guess so. Yeah.
doesn't matter where he is. We can't beat him.
Shout out to Auburn fans, by the way. I know that we have a lot of Auburn fans who live here, so maybe it wasn't like a ton of people traveling, but they showed up and they made some noise. It's a little the tickets for this. I kept checking secondary market, even like right before the game. It was like the lowest to get in was like $120 right before kickoff.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, in that stadium, like over the years, it'd be 12 cents. For a lot of games. But Auburn fans, I give them credit. They showed up. There's more Vanderbilt on that side where the visitors always take over, but they still had a good fan support, and they made noise, and then they just watched Pavia. I mean, their team was like playing great, going up and down the field, making plays. They were excited, and then Pavia just, does what he does to Auburn.
By the way, Stowers 12 for 122 in this game as well.
Yeah, he's the whole first-round tight end. You're seeing it with him. I mean, the connection those two have, Pavia, and of course they both go back to New Mexico State, is pretty special. Whenever they needed to play, it's just he found a hole somewhere, and Pavia found him like that. He is, and like Mark said earlier, Stowers took some shots too.
Oh yeah,
he was terrific.
Yep, and as you heard Pavia discuss in that clip there, they're still alive for the college football playoff. 8-2. You got Kentucky coming in. You got Tennessee on the road here in a few weeks. Obviously, you're gonna have to win both those games if you're Vanderbilt. But the Auburn game we talked about last week heading into it, Joe. You fire the coach. Those games are tricky. It's not like Auburn doesn't have a talented roster. I think we saw that on Saturday. And that's a big moment for Vanderbilt to come out on the other side of that. I mean, when you look up in the first half and you're just getting shellacked at home in the first part of that game, to be able to rebound from that and to come out with a huge win is a big deal. And you're at 8-2, and you're still alive for the college football playoff. The defense is shaky right now, there's no doubt. But you're going to have a chance in both of these final games here. I'm interested to see how the picture plays out in front of them a little bit as time continues to go on here, and we'll get into that coming up here in just a few minutes. But another example of a Vanderbilt team that clearly did not have their best stuff, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, that just found a way to win a game on Saturday.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see, what the committee does with them tomorrow. Obviously, we're into the weekly rankings thing, and there's some teams ahead of them that lost. And it's like, the committee loves watching that film. So if they love watching the film, sure, they love what they see from Vanderbilt's offense, but not what they see from their defense.
Yep.
So that's what they are. I suppose, if you like the TV people are like, yeah, they'd rather have like offensive teams, not that the TV people are in the committee room and making selections for them, but they like offensive teams. They like offensive games. Vanderbilt would be entertaining to watch. We can get more into this too, but I still think Vanderbilt, when you look around, if they get to 10-2, if they win that game at Tennessee, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, we'll see. There's some things that could happen, but a lot of stuff would have to happen to make it a problem for them. Again, I just they're just going to have to. They're going to have to find a way to get a couple stops in Knoxville, and their offense is going to have to be absolutely high octane. But right now, it is playing like the offense is again I have some of these stats on Auburn. Like I said the 24-point thing, but I mean in all over the place. This is the best rush defense Auburn's had since 1988. They've given up a total of 12 touchdowns in SEC games. Again, against a lot of really good teams. The best scoring defense in the SEC. Vanderbilt scored 6. Yeah. So, I mean, that is, that's big time offensive performance. It's going to have to continue.
One texter says, can you please explain why Pavia is so mad about Auburn not recruiting him? There are a lot of schools that didn't recruit him, but he only seems to bring it up against Auburn. From an unnamed texter. He's seen a lot of Auburn.
I think I don't remember. There may be something to that. Like there may have been some contact or something. I don't know. I know that I know Dion tried to recruit him when Dion was at Jackson State, but then it was so I'm going to just back up your son. And he's like, yeah, basically. no, thanks. But yeah, it is funny. He could say that just about every week, right? Yeah. I mean, he's a 0-star recruit. So especially if he's going back to high school, seriously, every team he plays, Utah State, Kennesaw State, whatever, he can be pissed at all of them.
I mean, we had somebody bring this up earlier. I think it was Mark. I'd be interested to see what Cam Coleman does at the end of the year. Is he hanging around at Auburn? Is he going to the transfer portal? What ends up happening there?
Yeah, I mean, whoever gets that job, job number one is Cam Coleman retention is your number one job. Yeah, he's going to be very very pursued. Well, he is right now. I promise you, as we speak, as Auburn doesn't know who its next coach is. This is where you have to have your collective people get involved in hey, we're going to hire a good coach, Cam. Please don't leave.
Like you said, on the defensive front, it wasn't just that we went over the passing numbers for Ashton Daniels, 31 of 44, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns. They also gave up 210 yards on the ground on Saturday as well. So it was pretty much from every angle.
Well, how many did he have?
He had
probably
89.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're not going to find a much better quarterback game than the one we saw on Saturday between those two guys in terms of just the pure output of yards that they put up.
Yeah. I'll say, Bama fans who are listening, that version of them, with the way he's very elusive in the pocket. There were a lot of times it looked like Vanderbilt had him and then they lost him. Maybe the Iron Bowl could be a little more interesting than you would have thought. Even a week ago after watching this guy play.
Is it home game for Auburn? I believe it is. Yep.
I think it is. Yeah.
Weird things happen in that stadium.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've seen it
it'll probably be a crazy close game, and then Bama will pull some rabbit out of a hat. Not Kate out of YouTube chat says Auburn sucks. So if Vandy wins over Auburn and now Auburn is a good win, make it make sense. No, I mean, but it is a good offensive performance. First of all, any win right now is a good win. If you're 7-2, 8-2, you're chasing the playoff. I mean, it's it's a good win. But no, it's not going to be a win that counts big. But for your offense to do that against that defense, again, who did they play? They played Georgia. They played Oklahoma. They played Texas A&M. They played another good team in there too in the SEC. They played 4 in a row, an absolute gauntlet of really good teams. And again, they shut them down. Missouri's in there too.
Yeah.
So those 4 games, Georgia, Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Missouri with its quarterback, by the way, at that point. They lost by a combined 29 points, one of them in overtime. Anybody who watched that Georgia game, they dominated the first half. They should have won the Georgia game. We all know what happens at the goal line at the end of the first half. So, I mean, it's a talented team. That's why we said last week that this could be dangerous. And it was.
Ethan from Lawrenceburg already trying to get Cam Coleman on the Vols. Says Cam Coleman outside with Matthews and Staley would look pretty good.
Yes,
Hi,
he would.
Give him a call.
Well,
see what you can do out there.
I guarantee you Tennessee has made some sort of contact in some way. Yeah, just like anybody with a pulse out there in college football. I mean, you have a fired coach and a player like that, yeah.
Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Tim to the program. Tim, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Morning, guys. One of the things I'd like to say, a couple of things, and then I'll get off. But when Clark called the fourth down there at the end of the game, I don't have a problem with it. You know, Pavia, if he hadn't tripped up, he might have scored.
He was definitely going to pick up the first down.
He was going to get the first down, and with him, you don't ever know. The other thing is the way Auburn played for Durkin, he needs to get consideration for that job. Those guys played better than they played all year. Now, you know, I don't know if it's that they like him. Obviously, they like him a lot better than they did Hugh Freeze. But the guys actually played like what they thought they would coming into the year rather than what they were while Freeze was there.
Thank you for the call, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
I think they've been playing hard all year. Again, like their defense has dominant national stats all across the board. I mean, their offense has been awful.
Yeah.
Their quarterbacking has been awful. And maybe Hugh Freeze's play calling has been awful. Like maybe that's, I don't think it's an issue of, as far as Durkin, I mean, I don't think what happened at Maryland, I don't think DJ Durkin's going to get a major Power 4 head coaching job anytime soon.
Hugh calling some plays from the sidelines, like maybe the 7-iron here, maybe six or 7-iron here. It's like, you were playing football. This is football, not golf. Now, you spent all offseason playing golf, but this is football that we're trying to play here.
Was he sitting in like a hospital bed? Beeping in place. Texture, this is a great point with this texture. What shocked me the most about this is that not that they won, but they have a winning record. Isn't that the all-time series is Vanderbilt 23, Auburn 22.
Have some of that.
And one tie. I would not have guessed that.
I would not have either.
I'm assuming that's a lot of Dan McGugan wins in there.
I would assume so. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll continue the discussion on Vanderbilt and the college football playoff picture after another weekend of college football coming up next as well. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vengen will be broadcasting live at the all-new Circus Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall today, prior to the Monday Night Football game. Tonight's matchup, the Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers. Big one tonight in the National Football League. It will determine my mood in the morning. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, text me updates.
I will.
I won't be able to
Play-by-play.
Yeah.
You can listen to the radio, Joe. Somewhere.
That's true.
Who's the offender of that?
Although, wait,
in the NFL.
Is today ABC? Might be ABC. You got some bunny ears?
Hey, there you go.
No, I guess I could do that. Would that really work?
I don't know.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think the new bunny ears are,
Yeah,
fancy.
It's ABC, ESPN combo tonight.
Yeah.
It's free over the air broadcast.
But how
Let's
much
go
do
back
bunny
to the
ears
day.
cost, though?
I don't know.
See, I'm not putting another cent in. I mean, I paid all this money
What if
for
you
my
just,
YouTube TV to watch freaking ESPN.
just unplug everything, turn on the TV tuner, see
Yeah.
what happens?
Give it a shot.
Okay.
Although now we're getting into some technological things with Rexrode, and that could end very poorly.
That's true. We did have to go through the old USB Lightning adapter today for the Mac. So.
Yeah. I still have one kid at home. So
That's true.
That's my technical.
Well, that might be a little bit before her time.
Yeah,
Bunny
that is-
ears,
that is
network
also
television.
true.
For sure, but she still might be able to figure out what you just said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll give it a shot. Or just not watch.
Well,
Sucks though, because it's actually pretty cool. Pretty good game, man.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. You're excited.
The college football playoff picture over the weekend. Not, dramatic changes over the weekend. By the way, I mean, I'm sure most people have seen it, but if you didn't see the touchdown catch in the Indiana Penn State game, when you combine the stakes of the catch and the play that was made to get the foot down in bounds at the end of in the back of the end zone there, just crazy, just an absolutely crazy catch there. But Ohio State wins, Indiana wins, A&M destroys Missouri, Alabama takes down LSU, Georgia just smokes Mississippi State on the road. I mean, the big matchup of the day in terms of the college football playoff picture was BYU and Texas Tech, and Texas Tech rolls at home in that game 29-7. So not a ton that happened over the weekend to change up the college football playoff picture too much. Although I will say the Wake Forest takedown of Virginia, pretty big over the weekend.
Yeah, that is pretty big. And Louisville. I mean, Louisville losing home to Cal. The ACC.
Just cannibalizing.
Yeah, the ACC is screaming that they're going to be a one big league.
I kind of felt like that anyway, but now it's becoming pretty obvious.
Yeah. Now it makes it. I mean, basically, now there is a big one this week. We're going to give Pat Narduzzi a little break, not do as much pre-show preparation this week because he's got Notre Dame at home. That is a big one. And if Pitt were to get that one, still they're a 2-loss team, but okay, so there's a team that could be in there. You have Georgia Tech, Miami's got their 2 losses.
When a Pitt got that one, Notre Dame's out. So
and Notre Dame would be out. That's right. So and then in the Big 12, Texas Tech blows out BYU. I mean, the Big 12 could also be looking at one bid. The Big 10, you had a chance. Like Iowa was right there to beat Oregon, and then Iowa you have to take seriously. And obviously, Indiana almost lost, but Oregon comes back. The Indiana drive was amazing. So was the Oregon drive. If you saw a couple of throws that Dante Moore made in the rain, driving wind, rain at Iowa City against that defense, pretty big time. But also, the Big Ten, USC still alive, Michigan still alive, and hey, maybe Michigan can, shock Ohio State like they have just made a habit of lately. But right now, the Big Ten looks like a 3-bid league.
Yep.
So what we may be talking about is a 6. I think 5 is a strong bet for the SEC, but we might be talking about 6, which a year ago, all the SEC was all up in arms. They only got 3 in. They might double it this year.
Yeah. Well, so in the immediate part of this, Vanderbilt was at 16 in the original college football playoff rankings. You had the 2 teams in front of them, directly in front of them, lose this weekend. Virginia and Louisville both lost. So you would assume Vanderbilt going to move up in the rankings. Now, where will they move up? How does the committee look at the win against Auburn going to overtime, the performance of the defense? All of those things going to be interesting to see. But, that's why I say if you get to 10-2, if you're Vanderbilt, I think you still have to feel pretty good about your chances to get in.
It would take a bunch of stuff all to go against you for 10-2 not to work out. And I know people are like, "Oh, tell me their best win," and I hear you, but you can go through some of these other teams that are projected in the field and say the same thing. So like right now, Austin Mock for us at the Athletic, he projects what his most likely bracket would be. And South Florida, by the way, is right back in a strong position. Memphis. I know there were some Memphis fans excited last week. That's a tough loss to Tulane on Friday. So South Florida is back in the driver's seat to be but we'll see how that all plays out. But right now, your top four are looking like Ohio State, the projection here, Ohio State, Indiana. They're going to play in the Big Ten title game. Excited for that one. Texas A&M and Ole Miss right now with he's got Georgia, South Florida 5-12, Oregon, Texas Tech in an 8-9, Alabama, Georgia Tech in a 7-10, and then Notre Dame, Vanderbilt in a 6-11 tilt, which would be at Notre Dame. So that's his projection right now. Again, that's also projecting results from here, of course. Which, like for example, I mean, I guess that means the expectation is Bama loses to
A&M, Bama in the SEC title game.
The SEC title game. But so I mean, like right now, if you're a Vanderbilt fan, you're in good shape. You feel great. You shouldn't worry about this other stuff. If a bunch of crazy stuff starts happening, then okay, once we get to that last week, if they beat Kentucky, and again, Kentucky's dangerous. They do have this week off, which has to be huge for Vanderbilt to have the idle week this late in the season. Or what? Do they have two? Does everybody have two now?
Yeah.
Pretty big deal to have it now, I feel like, especially with some of these teams that maybe don't have as much depth as some of the other teams they're going to play, to rest up and try to figure some things out defensively.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Mike Vrabel gets a big win yesterday against Tampa Bay and improves to 8-2. How good are the Patriots? And is Vrabel getting ready to win Coach of the Year again? We'll get into all that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Monday morning, live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We'll have Cory Curtis from News 2 with us at 8 o'clock. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean joining us at 8:30. We'll get into the Predators with him. Preds in action tonight, taking on the New York Rangers, and then they're off to Sweden for a couple of games against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we'll get into all that with Alex a little bit later in the program. Busy weekend in the NFL. Good weekend for the underdogs, as we mentioned to begin the show. Titans at the moment are back in the driver's seat for the number 1 overall pick. So I know a lot of you at this point, that's what you care about in the Titans season. It's November the 10th, and Titans are in a good spot for the number 1 overall pick right now. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so you didn't even have to root for your team to lose. You know, that's the beauty of it. You didn't have to watch your team.
Yep.
You didn't have to root for your team to lose, and your team still benefited. Your team profited on Sunday. Congratulations.
A former Titans coach, things are going pretty well for him right now up there in New England. They go on the road and take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday. The Patriots win 28-23 against the Patriots, which means Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots are 8-2. They have won 7 games in a row. They are 5-0 on the road this year, which is impressive. And they win on the road in a tough place to play yesterday, an offense, and particularly a quarterback in Baker Mayfield that has played very well. And Mayfield played well again yesterday, but it just wasn't quite enough against the Patriots. Drake May, 16 of 31, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also had 13 yards on the ground. Travion Henderson, breakout game yesterday, 14 carries, 147 yards on the ground for the Patriots rookie running back there.
With like an 80-yarder at the end of put it away. But yeah, he had some other good runs. So a few things about New England. One, they're 8-2. They're in really good shape. It looks really good. Drake May looks really good. Their losses are home to the Raiders and home to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be, if you want to be that guy, how the hell are you not 10-0? But some of their wins are notable, and you know, again, like going into Tampa, going into Buffalo, winning those games. Another point, I just want to go back to our Cam Ward discussion real fast, Robbie, because the Chad with the whole, my God, you're an idiot if you don't draft Fernando Mendoza first. I mean, that is a take.
It is.
The texter pointed out Drake May last year was 2-9, 15 touchdowns, 10 picks. Like, so let's remember that. Like last year, Drake May was not, he's definitely going to be great. Of course he is. No, people did not. You saw some stuff. I mean, I'd say you probably saw more from him than you've seen from Cam this year, but it was not, this is of course happening. But Drake May is, where's he on the MVP list?
He's co-favorite. Right, I was going to get to. He's
there you
co-favorite. He is. He and Matthew Stafford are co-favorites for the NFL MVP right now at plus 300 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Vrabel is the favorite for NFL Coach of the Year at plus 125, and the only one. There's a couple guys that are close to him. It's Vrabel at plus 125, Steichen at plus 140, which makes sense, and Mike McDonald at plus 450 with the Seahawks. And those are the 3. I mean, it's going to be one of those 3 that end up winning the award for NFL Coach of the Year. But, I mean, right now you're talking about a co-favorite at MVP at quarterback and the Coach of the Year favorite right now in Vrabel.
Yeah, you got to tip the cap. I mean, he's doing a really good job, and they're a good team, and they might be here to stay. Like Gonzalez, man, that guy is Christian Gonzalez. He is a player. They got some good players on defense. Their defense is better than I thought it would be this year, kind of based on last year. But that's one thing. When Vrabel can quickly make a decent group, I think very good on that side of the ball.
Leading tackler for the Patriots yesterday, Dr. Gibby, Jack Gibbons.
Sure, of course. 10. Of course. Ben from Cumberland City, this is a good question. Did you see what Vrabel did at the end of the half? Did you watch this sequence?
I did not, no.
Okay, so Ben from Cumberland City asked, what did y'all think of the masterclass in coaching by Vrabel for the half? I swear he's the smartest coach out there. Now, it worked, Ben, so he's a genius. So they had, there's like a minute 30 left, something like that. I think Tampa Bay has, one timeout or 1 or 2, whatever. They're at the 1 yard line. Drake May takes the snap and just goes down. to kill. I think their last time were just to kill clock so that Baker couldn't have any time. Okay. And the announcers were like, I've never seen that before, where a team actually just didn't score at that point in a game, like right there, you're down 10-7. So you're down 10-7 and they go down, and then they try to score the next play, stuffed. They try to score the next play, stuffed. They call their own timeout. And then, I mean, it takes an amazing May throw and I think it was Diggs catch, toe tap with good coverage. And then it's like, oh, they score at the end of that. Perfect. What a genius. If they wouldn't have gotten any points out of that, people would not be talking about genius. No. I'm just saying.
I will say I did see the Henderson run at the end to put it away, the 69-yarder, where he's all by himself, and he looked to the sideline at Vrabel to see whether or not he should run in the end zone or just, how people take the knee right before and run the clock out. And I guess they told him to run.
Vrabel's like, go ahead.
Just keep going in. I've never seen that.
I've never seen that.
Where a running back's got enough time in the middle of the play to look at the sideline and be like, Coach, do you want me to score or do you not?
Yeah, that probably speaks to Henderson's speed. Also, that's pretty good awareness for a rookie. I know I've never seen that before either. That's another good example too. Like if there's like a minute left and you can go up like 2, score like 11 points, it's fine.
You do that.
It's fine. Go ahead. I mean, like you're probably going to be fine if you kneel too, but like it's still a 1-score game and some catastrophe could happen with a snap or something. Just go ahead, score.
Well, it's impressive what they're doing. They're in really good shape at the moment to win the division. Now we'll see. Buffalo's got Josh Allen, and we know that Buffalo's a good football team. Buffalo continues to lose games that they have no business losing, which is also, I mean, I don't really know what to make of the Bills right now because you know how good they are, you know how talented they are, and you know that their quarterback is among the handful of best quarterbacks in the league. And then they go out there yesterday and they just get absolutely blitzed by the Dolphins. And it's like, okay, what is that? So, I mean, you're 8-2. Buffalo, I think it's 6-3 at the moment. You've already beaten them once if you're the Patriots. So you're in a good spot there coming up to win the division. I'm starting to wonder, like, how good are they? Like, they're 8-2. There were people heading into the season. We talked about this, Joe. Like, there were people heading into the season that thought the Patriots could make the playoffs this year. And if you looked at their schedule on paper heading into it, there were some winnable games on it, and they got some breaks on the schedule part. Now, part of that is you play the Jets twice a year and you play the Dolphins twice. So there is that.
Yep.
So that certainly factors in. But like I said, they're 8-2. They're 5-0 on the road. They've won 7 games in a row here. And you look at their schedule coming up. You got the Jets on Thursday Night Football, at the Bengals, home against the Giants. Those are those next 3 games before they're back
Monday
home
night
against
the Giants. How about that?
Yeah.
Huh? Monday Night Football against the Giants.
So, like, they're going to be favored in all those games. They could be 11-2 by the time they roll around against Buffalo on December the 14th is the next time they play them.
Let me just say right now, let me make a prediction for you.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like this is basically just a hating on Vrabel segment. They will have a Vrabel special in one of those 3 games. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one. They will Vrabel special. Remember, Vrabel special means 2 things. Winning a game you're not supposed to win, losing a game you're not supposed to lose. Those are both Vrabel specials.
Yeah.
They'll Vrabel special one of those games.
Okay.
But still, even if they do, okay, so they're 10-3. I mean, they're going to be there, man.
Think they'll win the division?
I think they might, man.
I mean, the fact that they got the win at Buffalo and then just the Buffalo yesterday, I would not have before yesterday. I would have said, no, I still think the Bills
let down a game against after beating the Chiefs, I guess.
Yeah. I guess they put too much into that one, but that's just for a veteran team like that. That's hard to understand. Yeah, I think I'd pick the Patriots to win the division, and
number 1 seed.
AFC? They absolutely can be the number 1 seed. I mean, I'm watching the Colts. Yeah, I thought Sauce Gardner, he made some plays yesterday. It's a good ad, but I still don't trust them. I think they're going to lose a couple. I sure as hell don't trust Denver. And I mean, Kansas City's sitting there at 5-4. They might end up, emerging and be the best team of all these teams, but I don't know. I think New England as the number 1 seed is a distinct possibility. And that's one of the things about being the number 1 seed is New England or Buffalo. Like, your home is actually miserable for anybody coming in there in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if you can play well in that environment, I think that's been, part of the key to the success of the whole Brady Belichick dynasty.
Well, if you're a Titans fan, what's your reaction if in the first year Vrabel rolls up there to New England, has a quarterback win MVP, and he's the number 1 seed in the AFC? All of which is very possible right now, by the way.
Yeah. That's a good question. I feel like some people are like, good. Are you watching, Amy? But also some people are like just miserable about it,
I don't know. Josh McDaniels, I think, deserves some credit up there.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good hire. McDaniels as the OC seems like
he's a good OC.
Yeah. I wonder if that does anything for his head coaching.
No. He will never be a head coach again.
So if you're Vrabel and you have McDaniels as your OC and you can lock him in long term, if he's never going to go anywhere at this point, I think, McDaniels, as far as an OC and a quarterback guy,
pretty good.
And the game plans that they have week in and week out. And these guys are open, some of these wide receivers now. And I don't know, maybe we got something there.
Yeah. Vrabel, McDaniels, and May together for a long time is what we might be looking at.
Yeah. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on Vrabel with the 8-2 start in New England. Plus, back into our conversation from earlier in the show, how is the quarterback situation shaping up in college football, and how could that help the Titans once draft time rolls around? We'll get into all that. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Mondays were made for Macero. Big screens, bold flavors, and all the football action. From queso to kickoffs, this is how Macero does game night. Macero Football Mondays in 12 South. Don't miss a snap. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode taking your thoughts on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. David in Paris says, another great season where we continue to watch a former Titan move on and look good. It's so nauseating being a Titan fan. Which I feel you.
Yeah, it's a lot of. But by the way, I don't know if anybody was watching this yesterday, and I don't know what the final numbers were, but Traylon Burks was out there making some plays. Just saying,
From Mariota.
And I tweeted this
They're
yesterday.
losing by about 30 at the time, but yes,
Yeah,
they were making some plays.
You know, I'm just saying he's out there. He's out there running around, looking a little bit physical, looking like maybe he could do so. Hey, I hope
Burks was
that's
their
one of the
leading
guys.
receiver. 3 catches for 58 yards.
There you go. I mean, it would be cool to see him like stay healthy and be able to stick in the league. But also,
I swear, if Traylon Burks goes to Washington and turns into like a good player,
then
jeez.
yeah, like there's just no limit to what could happen to the Titans fan.
Probably not.
Also, like Jonathan Vilma, and he's not the only one, but like, how in the hell are people still calling him Marcus Mariota? Like it's just insane to me.
I don't know.
Been
in the league for a
why
long time
is
at
this
this
so
point.
hard?
What, 10 years now? You've been in the league 10 years? Yeah,
Yes.
10 years.
He came in 10 years ago, coming off winning the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
I did an
the commissioner when he was drafted said, Marcus Mariota. So
I did an interview with him in the fall of 2014 in which he told me the pronunciation of his last name. I remembered it. That was 11 years ago.
I don't know.
It's insane. It's just like the whole game. Like Mariota. Like what? No one, like who's working PR for the Commanders? It's whatever. You know what? I can't fight any more battles for Marcus.
Wes and Clarksville.
You're going to start ripping him, and it's fine.
I mean, he looked okay yesterday.
He did.
Yeah, good for Marcus out there. They only lost by 22 with him at starting quarterback.
I mean, it's not his fault that their defense is Swiss cheese. I mean, come on. He did fine. They 22 points. That's not bad. Not terrible.
Wes in Clarksville says, I wonder if Amy regrets firing Vrabel when all they should have done is fire Rand and hire a real general manager. Yeah, I don't know. My guess is she probably doesn't regret it because I don't think she likes Mike Vrabel very much. I think that's the overriding theme here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, there's probably a lot of regrets that you could have if you're Amy Adams Strunk at this point. It's been an amazing run. And yeah, there can't be any like the idea because there was a little bit of like, oh, I thought Vrabel was such a great commodity and no one hired him last year. Now it's like
he's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. He's a good coach.
Liam says, that's it. I want McDaniels as our new head coach just to screw over the Patriots. If we can't have nice things, I don't want anyone else to either. Let them have Todd Downing. Mr. Liam on the text line.
Let them eat cake and have Todd Downing.
That'd be a heck of a move. Amy looks at it and says, nah, hey, guys, we're going to hire Josh McDaniels to be our head coach. We're taking him away from Mike, and he's going to be our head coach.
I like it. I actually kind of like that. Like if it gets to the point where you just can't figure out any answers, just do something to screw over your rivals. Maybe it'll still work out for you.
So on the college football front, in terms of quarterback, we mentioned to begin the show, Titans are back in the number 1 spot at the moment for the number 1 overall pick. We'll see how that goes the rest of the year. Still a lot of football left to be played. But yesterday, if you're rooting for the number 1 pick for the Titans, it's a pretty good day for you. The Jets win. Dolphins beat. The Bills yesterday, the Saints win on the road against the Carolina Panthers. So right now you are the only team in the league that has just 1 win on the season. So you're sitting pretty at the moment for the number 1 overall pick. So Joe, as you look at the landscape, we know that if the Titans end up with the number 1 overall pick, unless, you're Chad in Hendersonville who called in earlier in the show, who wants them to, no questions asked, take Mendoza out of Indiana.
Clearly the best quarterback of all time.
Then I think a lot of Titans fans look at it and say, well, that's a pretty good opportunity there to trade out of the number 1 pick, get a lot of picks that you can put together and start to build this roster around Cam Ward, be that at wide receiver, Be that at edge rusher, be that at any one of the thousands of seeming needs that this team has on the roster right now. So, Joe, how do you look at the quarterback situation? Because we know if the Titans are going to trade out of the number 1 overall pick, it's going to have to be because somebody's in love with a quarterback. So, how do you view how the quarterback situation is shaping up in college football and how that could, or I guess could not, benefit the Tennessee Titans?
Well, I mean, a lot of people have decided to rip Chad today. I get it. But does Chad's call earlier not potentially represent how some people are looking at Heisman Mendoza, as they call him? Fernando Mendoza from Indiana?
We will get calls if it continues to go like this. I've said this for weeks now at this point. We will get several calls, several people who by the time the draft process rolls around want the Titans to take quarterback number 1 overall. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind.
And look, I do agree with the general sentiment. Like, I agree with the general sentiment of if you think that the greatest quarterback of all time is sitting there and you can take him, even if you just took a quarterback, go ahead, do it. But I mean, are we really there with Fernando Mendoza? You know, I'm looking at like our scouting, like Brugler and Baumgartner, you know, and they're scouting on some of these people. Here's a quote. You know, you said in a break, Robbie, like Mendoza, incredible game-winning drive, and he didn't have his top receiver, and it was like the whole thing was big time. Also, like during a lot of that game against a talented defense on the road, like he didn't, you know,
he's okay.
Yeah. So here's a quote that I think people. This is a quote from Baumgartner and Brugler. Quote, though he showed why he won't be a slam dunk number 1 prospect, Mendoza also gave NFL teams more reason to bet on his football IQ, accuracy, and mental toughness early in the draft, end quote. I will say one thing about Mendoza. He's got wheels.
Yeah.
That's a big asset for him. And without that, I don't think they would have won that game. And look, you know, the more you look around the NFL, like it's so rare, I think, anymore to see successful quarterbacks who look at what Daniel Jones did yesterday. Look at what Caleb Williams did yesterday, like winning games really by scrambling and running. You know, yes, you have your Staffords and you have your Goss, but there aren't that many. And so I do like, you know, as a runner, Mendoza is better than I realized. I mean, I didn't realize that much about him at all. Basically,
well, he's huge.
Cal.
He's 6'5", 225.
Yeah, 6'5", 225, and can move like that. That's pretty good. He's accurate. He's got a good arm. So, yeah, I mean, I think Mendoza is probably the guy who, you know, who would go number 1. But again, when it's like, yeah, I guess this is the guy who would go number 1. Is that, first of all, is that who you abandon your last number 1 pick for? I don't think so. Is it good enough for a team to decide they have to come up and get him? No, probably, because someone will talk themselves into it, just like the Titans did with Cam Ward.
Well, a big question here that we don't know the answer to yet: how many of these quarterbacks are going to come out and declare for the draft? That's the other thing. Like, is Ty Simpson is he going to the NFL draft? Because if he is, I think there's a chance he'd be a pretty high pick.
Yep.
If he's not, I mean, obviously that's a problem for the Titans, right? Like, you want as many of these guys to declare for the draft as possible, both from, I guess, your own evaluation standpoint of looking at them, and also, you know, I mean, when you crowd the quarterback room, people get desperate to take a quarterback in the draft. I mean, look, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend to get in the head of Ty Simpson here. You know, maybe they get put out in the college football playoff and he really wants to come back and try to win a national championship at Alabama. I have no idea. I do know he's thrown for 2,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 1 pick so far this year, and he's played really good football. So, he is going to be in the conversation for the number 1 overall pick if he comes out. Mendoza, for sure, going to be in the conversation for the number 1 overall pick. The funny part is, Joe, those are not names we were discussing before the year. None of them, right? It's just amazing how it's worked out this way.
Well, right. So I'm reading the same piece from Brugler and Baumgartner. So here are their seniors with day 2 upside. Drew Aller, who some people are like, oh, maybe he could be the number 1 overall pick. Garrett Nussmeier, who people, I mean, going into the year and even early in the year is like, oh, he's going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Now he's a senior with day 2 upside.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Beck, who a year ago was certainly going to be the number 1 overall pick. I mean, And this, I think all of this from an analyst perspective, from the scouting, they get information from scouts, front office. It's just everybody just freaking guessing. You don't know. You don't know who's going to work out. And largely it is the guys who work out are the guys who get good situations.
Yeah.
Other than the unicorns, it's the people, it's the guys who have the support around them to have a chance to succeed.
Said our phone line, welcome in Dustin in Hopkinsville to the program. Dustin, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, guys. I just wanted to touch on Chad Powers' phone call earlier to give my 0% IQ.
Nice.
Yeah, I like Mendoza, don't get me wrong, but there's so many dang holes on this team, and you're giving Cam Ward, 9 games? I don't know how many he's played now, and you're going to give him 9 games and just shut the door? I mean, he's done a lot of good, and I mean, he's done some air fumbles, some phantom air fumbles, but I only take Mendoza if I know he's that generational quarterback with all these holes, because we need picks. We need trade back. I trust in Borgonzia. I like him talking the other day. I trusted him before with the offensive picks he's made. And the defense is looking better than we thought it should after all these trades we've done. Now, the Jets, Cleveland, they're always dumb. You know what? We could still get to number 2 or 3, and if Ty Simpson or somebody's still there, and you don't like Cam Ward, you fill the holes and get the quarterback. In my opinion, you can only take Mendoza if he is that elite guy, and you need to see the rest of the year and see what he does in the playoffs.
Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate the call. We'll react to that. Take more of your thoughts. A lot of your thoughts to get to on the quarterback front coming up next. How is it shaping up? How could it benefit the Tennessee Titans? More on that next. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. 94.9 The Fan is your home for Vanderbilt women's basketball. Today, the Commodores take on Furman at 6 o'clock, pregame beginning at 5:45. We'll have the Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up here in just a few minutes. Cory Curtis at 8 o'clock, Alex Daugherty at 8:30 here on the program. A lot of your thoughts on the text line, the YouTube chat. Jude on the YouTube chat asking about the quarterbacks. How many teams out there could need quarterbacks at the end of the year? I just went through them real quick. I think the Jets for sure need a quarterback. I think the Raiders need a quarterback. Cardinals could need a quarterback. Saints could need a quarterback, depending on how Tyler Shuck does the rest of the year. You've got the Cleveland Browns. I mean, are they sticking with Shador and or Dylan Gabriel? Or are they looking at quarterback? They've got 2 first-round picks, so, who knows what they could do. A lot of teams, Dolphins, what are they doing with Tua?
Panthers.
Yeah. Cardinals, like I said. What are they doing with Kyler Murray? There are a lot of teams that are going to be quarterback shopping.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think there's any shortage of that. Also in the YouTube chat, as you pointed out, we got Indy Ben. That is, you have confirmation that Burrow Ben is Indy Ben. Is that right?
Yep.
Why do you change your name, Indy Ben? What's wrong? You afraid to be identified by?
No, it's just Indy Ben on the text line and Burrow Ben on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I kind of like consistency. Just pick a name and go with the name. But he's going off about how bad the Titans organization is, which I'm not saying he's wrong, but but Abel goes back and says, well, everyone's saying the same thing about the Indy until Daniel Jones. So calm down there, Benny.
Calm down.
You know what? When your team's playing like this and you've been listening to Titans radio not Titans radio, but when you've been listening to Nashville radio as much as he does, you get to talk your trash now, man. You get to talk your trash.
Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Adam in Portland to the program. Adam, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
What's up, man? Hey, the thought of number one yesterday, I thought to Ian was a nice break. Like, we all needed it. The Titans needed it. The fans needed it. But the Titans need a quarterback, but they don't need to draft a quarterback. We need a backup quarterback that can help a young quarterback. That's it, man. I'm trying to think, if you go through this roster, and I ask both of you because you know it very well, is there any position where you're like, they're good? They're good at this position. I've looked at it, and maybe kick returner. That's it. Other than that, dude, we're bad straight down the list. So, you got to trade back and get picks, and it's not even a question about it. You can't. It could be the next Mahomes guaranteed, and you still can't draft him because you gotta have help for Cam. We got to do something, man. But I would love to see them get a good quarterback in free agency, no doubt. But you can't draft one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, first off, if it was the next Mahomes guaranteed, I would probably draft that guy. That's just me. I'd probably figure out.
Yeah, if you somehow had the crystal ball,
but you can't guarantee everything. So there's that. I would be, frankly, stunned if the Titans actually end up drafting a quarterback.
Do you know how stupid they would look?
Yeah. I mean, I would be stunned.
I understand, if it ends up being okay, and he ends up being great, but you know how stupid they would look?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened? There's no way that's ever happened.
Well,
right?
I mean,
there's no way
the number one pick, probably not.
There's no way.
I mean, Josh Rosen was drafted pretty high, and then they drafted Kyler number 1 the next year. So there's precedence for it that way.
For high first round.
Yeah, but number 1 overall, I would doubt it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there haven't even been many instances of teams having number 1 overall twice in a row. I think Cleveland was the last time.
Jacksonville did it when they took Trevor Lawrence, and then they took Walker the next year, number 1 overall. But yeah,
good job, Jacksonville. Way to blow that game yesterday too, by the way. We can still make fun of Jaguars fans.
Yeah, that's good stuff there.
No, they would look so stupid. I mean, so stupid. Well, again, it's not. This isn't the guy to. I'm sorry. There's nobody in this draft who is that guy to do that with. There's just no.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not opposed to the idea in general. If Andrew Luck was coming out this year, then I'd probably advise the Titans to just go ahead and move on from Cam Ward and draft Andrew Luck. But I don't think any of these guys are Andrew Luck.
And also,
right?
to have a year ago realized that Andrew Luck is coming out next year and you're going to suck.
Exactly.
But
I think we see now, I mean, look, Cam Ward has some flaws. I'm very interested the rest of the year to see if there's any sort of meaningful progress that he can make. But even if there's not, you look at the rest of the roster and you're like, man, it's pretty bad. He does not have a whole lot of help out there. So go out there and get him some help. And then if he's bad again next year, then maybe we have a different conversation. Get him some help in the draft.
100%. Yeah, you go all in like this, like they did. You have to go all in to give anybody a chance to know what he is. And I mean, come on, year one with a team this bad. I'm not saying I'm convinced that Cam Ward is going to work out, but year one with a team this bad, I am convinced that no one should be convinced that he can't work out.
Well, and the bottom line is the general
That's
manager,
a lot of negatives.
Mike Borgonzi has tied himself to Cam Ward. I mean, I guess if you pivoted right now and you drafted Mendoza or Simpson and they ended up being great, then yeah, I mean, you could survive that if you're Mike Borgonzi. But I don't think Borgonzi 1 year into is going to look at him and be like, well, I know I drafted Cam Ward number 1 overall last year. Let's go try it again with another quarterback.
And again, great. Bring in whoever it is. The limitations around that guy next year, because you still haven't addressed your roster, because you keep using that pick for a quarterback instead of other things. He's not going to look very good next year either. I promise you.
Well, I
got to fix the team.
Is there the draft order and where things finish here? Even if the Titans are number 1, like who is in front of who at the end of the year at the draft order? Because, the Giants are bad, right? The Giants are 2-8. They're number 3 on the list right now. They're probably not taking a quarterback. Like, they feel pretty good, I would assume,
right, about
Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
So, like, you need the Giants to finish in a spot where, they can maybe a little bit further down the list where all these quarterback needy teams are right behind you and they feel like they got to jump over each other to go get them. That's what you need moving forward here.
Exactly. So, look, you want Mendoza, best case scenario.
God, we're talking about the draft in November.
I know, but just in the playoff, but it's not quite right. It's adjacent. It's draft adjacent. Yeah. But you want him to be great, and you want Indiana to make a run and be like one of those, get deep in the playoff, and he plays great. And then there's going to be some teams that are like, we got to have this guy. Got to have him.
Yeah.
You still should never, no matter what happens, should not be the team that says we got to have this guy. But someone will if that happens.
I think Ty Simpson's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, Ty Simpson. No, I mean, look, I'm a fan for sure. I mean, and then it could be, and that's even better if you have a clear top 2.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
I'm just saying I may talk myself into Ty Simpson by the time the actual draft comes around
for the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I don't think they're going to do it, but I may talk myself into it.
I don't think there's anything I could see. I like him a lot. I like Mendoza a lot. I don't think there's anything I could see because they're not. When you look at Simpson, when you look at Mendoza, are they? Caleb Williams. Again, I understand Caleb Williams may or may not work out, but like that, no. Are they Drake May? To me, no. I mean, they're not Trevor Lawrence either, which of course didn't work out. They're not Burrow either.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't think there's anything that they could be put on display that would change my mind.
I mean, the thing that just gets me with Simpson in particular is like he's just really accurate. He's really accurate with the ball. And then you get into what you were talking about earlier. Well, how accurate is he when he's got NFL receivers running around all over the field and just open all game?
Yeah, and that's why I was a Stroud hater, and I looked dumb. And then, I don't know, I guess
maybe you look smart again.
Maybe I don't look as dumb now, but who knows? Yeah. We're all dumb.
Keith,
we're all dumb.
Keith on the YouTube chat says
when it comes to quarterbacks,
says today, quote, "It's so stupid. There is no way they would do that. The Titans. That's exactly why we're going to do it." This from Keith on the YouTube chat.
Maybe, man. I don't know.
It has gone that way as of late. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. Cory Curtis at 8 o'clock. Alex Daugherty at 8:30. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game.
Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment. Let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
There's sunlight. There's a dog's ass. It hits it sometimes.
Do you know your elbow from your ass? Get out of one, but stay high.
I smoke weed constantly. There we go, right?
We love all our callers here on this program. So
we
keep
love
it
you,
coming.
idiots.
It is that time of the day here on the program. Time for the Rex Rant. Joe Rexrode's rant of the day. Joseph, the floor is yours.
All right, so I've been holding on to a rant about a server that complained about a tip. But
I didn't even turn my microphone on.
Yeah, that's hit you with the mute. But I mean that's been a couple weeks now, so I feel like maybe I can pivot because I mean we have some. Is this breaking? Does this count as breaking news?
Nah, I guess.
I don't know if it's quite breaking news, but I think that we've been talking Vrabel today. I think that we should keep it on Vrabel. What would the rant be about Vrabel? Here's my rant on Vrabel that will be supported soon by audio. He's kind of a petty. He's kind of a baby. He's kind of a little bit of a baby. I think so.
Well, I was going to say, I'm just mad he keeps saying stuff all the time now. I mean, you couldn't get him to say anything except like making fun of your hands or making fun of Kuharski in a press conference here. And now he's just saying everything.
Well, yeah, like it took like disastrous seasons, AJ Brown being traded. Like it took major adversity for him to ever like say anything, right?
Yeah.
Or he'd be pissed like Glenn is like, I'm going to ask you about Zach Cunningham for a fourth time. You know, but other than that, he never said anything. Everything's going great in New England. Everything's just going great in New England. And every week he's turning out bangers left and right. Radio show here. He shows up on a TV set here at his presser. He's giving all these philosophical answers about life and football. So we got something today, huh?
This was from, I guess, this morning on the Greg Hill show up there in New England on WEEI. And he was asked about the report that Amy Adams-Strunk refused to trade with the Patriots because of lingering animosity between Amy Adams-Strunk and Mike Vrabel. And here's how that exchange went this morning.
There was a report last week that the Titans owner, Amy Adams-Strunk, was unwilling to talk trades with this team. Is that accurate, or is that just nonsense?
I haven't talked to Amy since the day she fired me. So her name and my name should not be in the same sentence together because I haven't talked to her since the day she fired me.
So there you go.
What does that even mean? First of all, what does that mean? Keep my name out of your mouth, Amy Adams-Strunk. So because he hasn't talked to her, we should never speak of her again. She is who shall not be named.
I mean, you don't have to talk to her for her to not want to, trade with you, right? I know Kuharski out here and says that stuff's not real.
Well, look, I think that whole controversy may have been created by Vrabel. So I think that, and again, I don't know. That's speculation based on was there like a flippant response that someone took seriously? I mean, so I guess you could say it's not all on Vrabel if my speculation is correct. But either way, I mean, I don't think, and I trust Kuharski on this, that this is a situation where Amy actually did this, which would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying New England did either, but I feel like this may have been somewhat generated by Vrabel, and now he's like giving an answer like that. He's kind of petty.
I haven't talked to Amy since the day that she fired me. So don't even put us in the same sentence together.
Man. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It is.
But again, the fact that he even answered that, like, I'm trying to think of what he would have done if asked about that here. Like, I'm not talking about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. No,
it's got into it.
I love Robert on the text line. I rarely read his texts with good reason, but I love this. He said, "You're just mad he roasted you, Joe." Except he wrote, "You're just made he roasted you, Joe." Good stuff, Robert. All right, I'm going to go back to ignoring you now.
One person says you can't tease the tip story and then just not tell us out there. Give a quick summation of what happened.
Should I? I mean, sometimes I get a little bit dry on rants. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tease you, and we'll have it another day. I mean, I will just say that, like, if you get we'll save it for another day. I think we should keep it with Vrabel here. Let's keep it on topic. Texter says, absolutely, Amy's an idiot, and he doesn't want to be associated with her. The people love Vrabel. That's why the Patriots are 8-2, and we suck. But not all people love Vrabel.
That's true. It's true.
Nate says, obviously, Vrabel was never happy here. I don't think that's true. I think it got unhappy at the end. I think,
I enjoyed the corner pub.
That's absolutely right. No, I think Vrabel was happy here, and then they traded A.J. Brown. And I think that was the beginning of the end for a lot of things with the Tennessee Titans, including him.
Yep, I would agree with that.
And John Robinson.
Let's head back to our phone line. Welcome in Charles to the program. Charles, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Hey, I'm loving the Mendoza conversation. If we think about in the coming draft season, regardless of what their intentions are, they're going to have to work out those two quarterbacks, and it'll be interesting to see if their assessment is that these guys are actually stronger than Cam. So in defense of Cam, I think it's easy to say that if Patrick Mahomes were our quarterback, we probably would only have one more victory, and he would probably have been injured by now. So, I'm not too sure that Cam's not doing a pretty good job, considering we don't even have a backup on the team. And finally, if we did have to draft a quarterback, would Cam draw a number one or a number two? Because at least he would have had a year as a quarterback in the league with, assuming he avoids injury, with a lot of battle-tested scars that might make him a good suspect. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it. First off, if they just made the decision to draft a quarterback here, I don't think Cam Ward's getting a high pick.
No
way.
No, I mean, it's again, this is what it is. It's driving a new car off the lot. And unless it's immediate stardom,
right,
then the value plummets.
Yeah.
When it comes to draft capital. It's an interesting point about working out the QBs and like going through the process, Yeah, you can do that.
Sure.
But also then every day, oh, you don't like Cam? Why don't you like Cam? What are you doing? You have to deal with that crap on that. So you kind of have to, you do have to play a little bit of a political game here too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we believe in Cam Ward, but hey, let's spend our whole draft process trying to replace him.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how that goes, because the other part of this is if there's a big time quarterback needy team, and like I said, you really want all of them to kind of be bunched up together, and for whoever's at number 2 to really need a quarterback, so teams jump over them
exactly
to go get you.
So the Jets being your number 2, not only do you want one, to me, you want the Jets to be your 2.
Yep.
So now you kind of want them to, to not win too much.
Yeah, I mean, Titans are going to win a whole lot more games this year. So if the Jets
but
end
you
up with 2 or 3,
you want the Jets to stay worse than the other ones.
Yeah. Exactly. 6-1, which they've got a chance.
Threading the needle.
615-737-1025, our phone number. Cory Curtis from News 2 will be with us coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Final hour, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Monday morning. And we head to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in our friend Cory Curtis from News 2, brought to you by Tennessee Men's Clinic. Cory, good morning. How are you?
I am a delight, Robert. How are you?
Doing outstanding. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning.
I know.
I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. Let's begin on the Mike Vrabel front. Right now, the Patriots are 8-2. He is the favorite, according to the odds, to win NFL Coach of the Year. Right now on FanDuel, Drake May is co-favorite to win MVP of the National Football League, and they're in first place in the AFC East and have won 7 games in a row. What do you make of what's going on in New England, the job that Vrabel has done here, and how sustainable is this for him as they go out through the rest of the season here?
Well, look, if you got a good young quarterback, you can win a lot of football games. And, not to say that, well, anybody could do it. Drake May's really good. I mean, he made a big mistake in the game and got away with it yesterday with the interception in the end zone. But, they've had a very fortunate schedule to this point. They do have 2 really nice wins, beating Buffalo and now beating Tampa. But I don't think anybody's ever questioned Vrabel's ability to coach. I mean, we all said the same thing, when he left here. His teams were always prepared. He always knew the rule book, inside and out. If anything got Mike Vrabel in trouble, to me, it was loyalty, and just being overly loyal to certain players and certain coaches. Just roster decisions that didn't go too well because he believed in people. But when Ryan Tannehill was playing well, Mike Vrabel looked really good, and that's the way it goes. You have good players, you win games if you're a good coach. Now there are bad coaches who don't win with good players, so there's that too. But it's the combination of a few things. They made some good roster moves in the offseason as well, and it's all come together for him. It's now him being the favorite as well is, look, nationally they love Mike Vrabel, so this is absolutely what they want. I mean, there are other coaches who certainly should be in the conversation.
I will push back, Cory, on no one questioned. I mean, we'll still get Titans fans here that are like, "Oh, he was what 6-18? Is that what he finished?
Yep.
Yeah. 6-18 last 24. Why is he so great? Why is he so great?
Well, I mean, his preparation for games was good. His knowledge of the rules was good. His preparation of his team, having them ready to play was good. His roster became not good. And that was the part, like I said, that and some of the coaching decisions he made. Those are the things that were not great that ultimately got him into trouble.
I think we all agree on this. I'm just saying,
Okay.
And of course, but this is also the kind of year that probably blows that narrative up a little bit, right? The whole he all of a sudden forgot how to coach at the end of his tenure. Yeah.
Well, look, none of these guys I don't think have ever forgotten how to coach except for Belichick. None of them have ever forgotten how to coach.
Yeah, they're going to a bowl game.
Yes, but you see historically, it's usually tied to players. I mean, players ultimately win games, and when you have good players, you ultimately win games. When John Robinson had his good run from 2016 to 2019, the Titans built a team that won a bunch of games, and then when he had a bunch of bad drafts and a bunch of bad free agent decisions and trades, the roster went to hell and the Titans went to hell, and they have not made the decision since then to correct it. It is not a mystery. It is not a mystery. Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl. All right. Barry Switzer was not a great NFL head coach, but he had a phenomenal roster that he did it with. Now, the year Mike Vrabel won NFL Coach of the Year with the Titans, didn't he use 90 some players?
Yeah. NFL record.
I mean,
89.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. That's a great job. That's a great job holding things together. That's a great job having guys ready that you just got in the door or maybe playing in above their heads. So there are things you do that are a good job and things you do that are not.
So let me ask you this. We heard from Mike Borgonzi last week. He talked about a lot of things. I thought he was really good. But, I mean, the main theme was you look at the roster right now, there's a lot of work left to be done for the Tennessee Titans, as we all know. So in that process, how crucial in your mind is landing the number 1 overall pick this year from the standpoint of being able to trade out of it and building through the draft that way, which, by the way, good weekend for the Titans on that front. They are now back in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, 3 teams started the weekend with 1 win. Now we're down to 1. So that's, the Jets won despite throwing for 54 yards, which seems impossible, but they did it. Look, it's important. I think, I don't know what the number of quarterback needy teams is right now. It's probably like 5 or 6. Does that sound about right?
Right around there, yeah.
Yeah, but there aren't going to be, I don't think there's going to be 5 or 6 quarterbacks necessarily worth trading up for. There'll be a couple that pan out in the process. So I think as far as acquiring not just picks, but acquiring high picks, that's ideally you want to trade with somebody else who's picking in the top 5, because that gets you still picking in the top 5 and more high picks. That's much better than trading down to 13 or 15 and getting one of those guys. This way you still get an elite premium player and you acquire the picks that you need, because this team does need elite premium players. They just don't need first round picks. They need high first round picks. They need cornerstones to the franchise. They need guys that people put their names on jerseys and wear them to the stadium. Okay. And I realize you can get those guys outside of the top 5 or top 6, but generally it helps to pick there. And so I think from that aspect of ensuring that you're still picking within the top 5 or 6, even after a trade, it's hugely important.
I agree, and I will not, because now we're trading too close to the draft talk. But I will not mention how they should trade down and get Ruben Bain. I will not. I'm not even going to go there.
Bain.
But I'm just saying that may be something we talk about in the future.
Look, everything on the edge is what they need. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, whether it's wide receiver or cornerback or edge rusher, that's what this draft probably needs to be all about.
Every position that requires cleats is what they need.
That's pretty true. Earlier someone was like, "What position do you feel?" Yeah, there's a question for you, Cory.
Yeah.
What position? I mean, we'll take like Cam out of it. Like, I mean, we had a call earlier. It was like, you're an idiot if you're Titans, you don't go take Fernando Mendoza number 1. Which is
did you watch that game Saturday?
I did.
Yeah.
What did you think of him for 3 quarters?
Well, that's what we've talked about already. It's like, he didn't look great. He was great at the drive.
Yeah, he was great in the drive. But I've watched him a couple times now, and I haven't found him to be as athletic as everyone else seems to. Like when he runs the football, I'm like, he doesn't look that athletic. I don't know.
I thought he looked really fast a couple times Saturday. That first touchdown was like, geez, it was a little bit of a stunner, like how fast I thought he looked there. But
I'm not in love. I guess that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always going to be someone who gets pushed to the top, which is what happened last year, and it's going to happen again this year. But in some years, it's like, oh, you could have a shot at that guy. That's not what he is.
Yeah.
But he also may end up being the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, who knows?
He's not Andrew Luck. He's not Trevor Lawrence. He's not slam dunk. This guy's the number 1 pick. But I mean, he's there, and there's what, 2 or 3 other quarterbacks that are in the conversation. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna say, so take quarterback out of it. What's the position group for the Tennessee Titans you feel best about?
That I feel best about?
Yeah. Least needs addressing.
Safety.
Okay.
So, long snapper.
Very good there.
Yeah. Look.
Good returners. Punt kick returner, they're set.
I like the 2 young receivers, but you still need a 1. I mean, you still need, if you can draft, if there's a guy you can get in the first round, like if you get a second first round pick who's just a dog out there, you can take that guy. They obviously need corners. I like the guard. I like the young middle linebacker. Look, They need running. They need everything. Like you said, everything in cleats. There's not one position that's like, well, we're good here. We don't need to take anybody. All right, unless you're Cam and you're like, okay, we're good. But I don't see how you can be anywhere and be like, okay, we don't need to take anybody. I mean, if there was an elite tackle to take, you could take him.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being better at that position.
So on the Vanderbilt front, they get the win against Auburn. They survive in overtime, and now they're 8-2. If you win out and you get to 10-2, which is a big if here, but we'll see. You're going to have a pretty good shot to get in the college football playoff. What have you made? And I know one of them was a loss against Texas. The numbers for Diego Pavia are outrageous. The last couple of games.
500 yards.
What do you make of the
that's the performance?
Yeah, like what do you make of the way that he's playing and how he's basically just kind of dragging Vanderbilt along with him right now?
I would say no one in college football means more to their team than Diego Pavia. I mean, no one. Yeah, I mean, he's electric. They put the game entirely in his hands to win. Look, the decision to not kick the field goal late was horrific, in my opinion, but they got away with it, and Pavia was part of the reason. You know, they're still good at the line of scrimmage. That hasn't changed, but the outside has been the concern, from the get-go when they got to facing teams with speed and elite talent on the outside. And that's what's getting them right now, is they can't stop anybody out there on the edges. And they've got to figure out a way to stop people on the edges. But Pavia, I mean, how do you keep him off your Heisman ballot? I know there's other quarterbacks to look at, but there's nobody who means more to his team than that guy. I mean, like I said, he just had 500 yards of offense against one of the best defenses in the Southeastern Conference. I mean, he doesn't have a first-round receiver that he's throwing to, and he does it with different guys every game. And he can run, he can draw people and pitch it. He makes the throws. I mean, there pretty much isn't anything they can't do with him, and he does it all. He has spectacular. Whatever NIL money he's getting is a bargain for them. I mean, you cannot say enough about how good he is, and how good he's been, and what he has meant to that program. I just, if you don't know, you're not watching.
Well said. I mean, to me, he's moved up the Heisman list. Even in the last 2 weeks, one of those as a loss.
Yes.
Yeah,
because he proved he can do it with his arm.
He's carrying this team right now. Yeah.
I mean, that performance Saturday was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
No doubt about it. Cory, great stuff as always. We appreciate you taking time to be with us today here on the program, and I hope you enjoy Monday Night Football tonight.
Yeah, Eagles Packers. That's a good one. Can I ask you guys a quick question?
Sure.
Okay. So the last 2 weeks, we have seen ridiculous outcomes in the National Football League.
Yes.
Whether it be the Saints winning this weekend, or the Jets winning with 54 yards passing, or the Dolphins boat racing the Bills. Does that mean the Titans win another game?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good reminder of what this league is. Yeah. I bet you they win 2. I think they win 2 games from here.
We made our final predictions, and I said 3-14, and that wasn't based on the Titans. That was based on the NFL.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens, because we always talk about the razor thin line between good and bad in this league. And I mean, you saw it in the one win that they had. They had one good quarter. It was enough to win them a football game.
Yeah.
And so, now they very well could go 1-16, but I'm just like, man, this league is nuts. It's nuts.
It is.
It's hard to believe.
The Chicago Bears having 6 wins with that team.
Yeah.
Yes, this league is nuts.
Here we go.
Well, the last 2 weeks, what do they have? Like 4 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
To fight back against the mighty Giants.
Carolina Panthers have beaten the Green Bay Packers and lost to the New Orleans Saints in a 2-week span.
Well, the Chargers are the same way. They've lost to the Commanders and the Giants.
Yeah.
But they've beaten the Chiefs and a couple of other really good teams.
And by the way, mighty Vrabel, 8-2. His losses are at home to the Breeders and Panthers.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that is exactly my point. And doesn't this seem like this type of year where a 6 or 7 seed wins the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it kind of does. Kind of does.
Yeah.
Which
So,
that
we'll
6 or
see.
7 seed might end up being like the Kansas City Chiefs. So that'll be something.
Could be the
Yeah.
Could be the Bears.
No, yeah. The Chiefs versus Bears in the Super Bowl. I'm in
There
for
we
it.
go.
Looking forward to the Matt Nagy Bowl.
Yes.
Corey, thank you, sir.
Later.
Cory Curtis brought to you by Tennessee Men's Clinic. Joins us every Monday morning at 8 o'clock. We'll react to what Cory had to say. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean will be with us at 8:30. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Appreciate Cory Curtis for being with us in the last segment. Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean coming up at 8:30. We'll get into the Predators with him. Taking your thoughts in the meantime, 615-737-1025. One texter says, so what I'm hearing is Pavia to the Titans. Dennis on the text line says, who's a better quarterback, Cam Ward or Diego Pavia?
Well,
Bobby's playing great.
Well, I answered him. Pavia may be a better college quarterback. Again, like, Cory said he's not throwing a first round. He is throwing a first round tight end. That is worth mentioning, or, at least
what we think to be.
Yeah, or he's a prominent pick. He's going to be a pretty early round pick, I would say, Eli Stowers. But, yes, the way he's carried this team, completely turned this whole thing around, I would say I'd give Pavia better college quarterback, but not close to better NFL prospect.
Yeah.
Two very different things. He says that's what's depressing. The pro team here is number one pick QB, but the best QB in the city is a guy who might not even get drafted. Yeah, I mean, I think Pavia, I would guess right now, 6th, 7th round pick. Could be UDFA. And I'd love to be wrong, but that's probably right now the way it's.
Yeah, I mean,
even through all this, because the measurables still are the measurables. I mean, there's some guidelines there that.
What's his hand size? Do we know?
That I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean,
he doesn't seem to fumble the ball much.
He's 6 feet tall, so he's listed at 6 feet 207. So I mean, look, we see 6 feet tall quarterbacks in the NFL all over the place.
We do.
I'm with you. I
don't think he's 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just telling you what he's listed as.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll get the official measurement at the combine.
Yeah,
assuming he's not playing college football.
What is this? 24/7 Sports has like a I don't know, high school recruiting thing from the national recruiting. Hand size 9.5.
Oh, he's fine.
Massive.
Yeah, he's fine.
Mitts out there. The thing about Pavia
maybe he is going to be drafted high. Who knows?
Well, look, the thing is, and I've heard this from I've heard this from NFL people is, can he actually make all the throws? He doesn't have a cannon arm, but
right.
I tell you what, the accuracy on the deep ball and just like he has gotten a lot better. He is, again, I think I've said this on the show, and I've been told this from inside the program. Last year it was like, man, if pro scouts came by, they're looking at other people. And it's like, man, you got to love that kid. But like, they're actually like, okay, let's talk about Diego now.
Sure.
There's a difference. And there should be. Like, if I were an NFL team, I would not hate having that guy in my locker room.
No.
It's just that, I don't think it's going to be a high pick.
I don't think so either.
Again, please, I'd love to be wrong. Wrong a lot. Love to be wrong on this one.
It would be awesome if they go through the draft process and somebody's like, you know what? 2nd round. Diego Pavia. Let's do it.
He's going to be a quarterback / our box safety. Travis Hunter, move the hell over, baby. This guy's playing every snap of special teams, too. You crush everybody out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, he's playing great right now. I thought, Joe, I thought when they lost the Texas game, it's like, well, his Heisman chance is probably done, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Ty Simpson's going to be in the mix. Julian Sayin, Ohio State's probably going undefeated. They're going to be in the mix. And those two guys specifically, and you throw Mendoza in there too, there's 3. If those 3 guys are probably going to be what it comes down to at the end of the day, if I had to guess.
And Jeremiah Love too.
And Marcel Reed. Like, you throw some other guys in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the number – people were complaining earlier. We were talking about, Pavia for Heisman all season long. And people would text back and well, look at the numbers. Like, the numbers aren't that good. Well, look at the numbers the last 2 weeks. They're pretty darn good from Diego Pavia.
Look, if they win the next 2 and he's great in those games and he does some crazy stuff to win a game in Knoxville, he might get my vote. I know that's a homer. Again, I'm not saying 100% because I have to go look. I don't know. Does Ty Simpson have this insane game to beat Texas? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the 2 guys, the Ohio State and Indiana guys are facing each other. But I do. Ohio State, it's just easy to play quarterback at Ohio State. And it's the same thing in Alabama. Look at the talent that's around him. It's absurd. And I'll say this too for Mendoza. I mean, Curt Cignetti, it's small sample size, but I think he's as good a schematic offensive coach as there is in football right now.
Yeah.
And so he is giving again, you got Curtis Rourke kind of out of nowhere, blew his knee out, was at Ohio, brings him in. And he's awesome last year, and he gets drafted. Off the radar completely. Mendoza was on nobody's radar as a top pick. Nobody's radar. He comes in, he's incredible, but how much of that, you have to give a ton of credit to Cignetti, right? You have to. All of which, and I'm not saying there's not other good things happening at Vanderbilt. I mean, Clark Lee's done an amazing job. They have other good players. I don't think there's a player who carries a team more than he does. And if he carries this team to the playoff, if he doesn't get to New York, it's criminal. But I think he would have a case to potentially win it.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll be joined by Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean coming up next. Get his thoughts on the Predators as they are in New York tonight, taking on a Rangers team that has not won a home game yet. And then they're taking off to Sweden after the game, take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll get into all that, what's going on with the team, what are some moves that could be made here very shortly. All that coming up next. Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 1025 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you on this Monday morning. Preds in action tonight, taking on the New York Rangers, who have not won a game at home so far this year. So we'll see how that goes. And then they are off to Sweden after that. And to help us talk more about that, we head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in our friend Alex Daugherty from the Tennessean, who does a great job covering the Nashville Predators. Alex, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great. How are y'all doing?
Awesome, man.
Good.
Appreciate you taking time to be with us. So let's start here. The Preds have lost 4 in a row. They've gotten a couple points out of it with some games that have gone to overtime, but they just can't really seem to put it together in terms of, when they're defending well, the offense doesn't follow. And when they're scoring goals, it seems like there are lapses defensively, and that has led to 5 wins in their first 17 games here. So what do you make of where the Predators are, how they've started the season, and how quickly could we be on the verge of some moves here? Be that a firing of a head coach, be that some trades, be that some players being brought up from Milwaukee. Where do you think we are right now with the Predators?
Yeah, speaking of Milwaukee, the Milwaukee Admirals have more wins than the Nashville Predators right now, Joe. So watch out for that. They got 6 wins in the first 9 games. The Predators only have 5. So.
Oh, I know. We got a special all show devoted completely to them on Thursday. So thanks for helping me preview it.
Look, I would say that this season I would put under the category of, I think the process is a little better. Like things that are sort of the underlying numbers we're seeing are a little better than they were last year, but the results are not any different. I mean, they have 5 wins through 17 games, and that's exactly where they were last year, right? They have a couple more points because of overtime losses. So, I mean, this is exactly what we kind of thought would happen, right? We knew that if you don't make any changes at general manager, at coach, at player, largely at players, except for a couple of defensemen, that you're going to get the same result, right? And that's exactly what's happened. They kind of went into the season just hoping that Steven Stamkos would be better, that Jonathan Marchessault would be better, that you'd get more offense from guys like Evangelista and Fedor Svechkov, and maybe Eric Halla could come in and do some things. But I mean, it just didn't happen. I mean, it has not happened yet. And if anything, the offense looks maybe even more lost, because especially without Roman Josi out there, who's missed several games now and should miss a few more. It's like, what are you really expecting when you watch this team? Now, Saturday was the exception. They put up 4 goals. When you watch this team, like, you look at the line that's out there and you're just like, where's the offense coming from? Unless it's coming from Philip Forsberg or Ryan O'Reilly, it's not coming at all. I mean, there's just no one that can generate anything. They have times where they look like a good possession team in the offensive zone, but it almost never ends in a good chance that, has to require a really tough save by the goaltender. It's just shots get floated to the net, or they go directly into a defenseman's skate. And it's really frustrating to watch. Again, I think the process is a little better. Their shot attempt share is better. They're possessing the puck a little bit more, but it's just not. It's not leading to anything that leads to win.
So, I hate to jump to the 30,000 foot view immediately, Alex, but where is this all going? Where is this heading here in the next couple months?
I mean, obviously they're not going to do anything until after Sweden, right? I mean, they're going on the trip. They're in New York tonight. They're going to take on the Rangers, and they're going to play Pittsburgh in 2 games over in Sweden. Then they come home. They got a couple home games right before Thanksgiving, and then they go on the road again. So I think we're going to get at least the next 5 games, let's say, for the current setup. And by the current setup, I mean with Andrew Burnett as coach. Because we have to start thinking about it. I mean, Barry Trotz was extremely emphatic about how much he likes his young coach and everything. But when you have a result, when you continue to have results like this, and then you have Burnett coming out after the game on Saturday saying that he doesn't really have an explanation as to why the offense looks like, or why they lose games like this. I mean, that's not good. I mean, it's just there's nothing around. There's nothing you can't defend it that much longer. Now, if they win like 1 or 2 games here, I think that buys them some time. I think that's how slow this is going to take. Barry Trotz is going to take a little bit longer than most. And let's say they go to Sweden and they split with Pittsburgh, and they come back home and they beat the Avalanche, and then maybe they keep it close with the Panthers. Then we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going until Christmas. And then, but ultimately, where this is going is if there's not a substantial change by, I would say, January, like in terms of the standings, in terms of the play of the team, or really the results of the team. Yeah, you're gonna have some more changes. You're gonna see Ryan O'Reilly maybe shipped off. Maybe they talk to Steven Stamkos. Maybe they see if they can move Eric Holla, which they probably should do anyways because he's on an expiring contract. But things like that, you're going to see some bigger names move. In which case, you'd have to have some guys come up from the winning Milwaukee Admiral.
So I want to stick on Stamkos for a minute because I think everybody would agree it's not working out here. It's not going well. You watch him play, and there are plenty of nights where he just doesn't look dangerous at all. And then, Alex, like you go check the NHL edge numbers and the skating. It's like, well, his skating's still pretty good, man. Like he's moving around pretty well out there by the numbers. And the 2 goals that he scored last week, I mean, you tell me. I can count on probably one hand the amount of guys in the league that could score those goals.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing with him because you watch him and it's like, well, I think most people assume he's 35 years old and he's just lost it. And I understand why they think that. And then you watch him with the 2 one-timers he had last week. And the more and more I look at him, like how much of this is just they have no one that can get him the puck. Like I just wonder how much of it is that.
It has to be that. I mean, that's what it is at this point. I mean, he had guys in Tampa that were able to create and give him the puck at 5-on-5, even though those numbers were dwindling towards the end. And the power play numbers were what were boosting him at the end with Tampa, right? Like his power play production was great. We're starting to see a little bit of that now. The goal he had the other night was just sensational, and the tying goal against Minnesota was the same. Not a power play, but a 6-on-5 situation. So at 5-on-5, I mean, look, he's had his centers over the last few years, last few months with the Nashville Predators have been Tommy Novak. He's had some time with Ryan O'Reilly, and then he's had Svechkov. He's had Eric Holla now. These are not offensive dynamos, right? I mean, like Ryan O'Reilly is just fine offensively, but honestly, like even at this stage, O'Reilly is doing as much as he can to produce his own offense. Like I just think it's not a good fit. There's no one on this roster that can make the plays necessary to give him the puck. And I don't even know if there's anyone. Obviously there's no one in Milwaukee that can do that too. They'd have to go outside the organization to find someone that could do that. Which maybe that's the solution, right? Maybe if they get down to it and they decide, okay, we got to trade Ryan O'Reilly and get a haul for him, they can go get a young offensive center that can work with Steven Stamkos so that they can make these last couple seasons with Stamkos a little bit more bearable, right? And give him the puck more. That's about what they're gonna have to do because they don't have anyone ready right now that is close to what he needs in order to really maximize his 5-on-5 play. I agree with you though. It's not like an effort thing. It's not like I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with Steven Stamkos. I think he looks great. I mean, we all saw the shooting. It's just like at this point in his career, what does he need? What he needs is not on the roster right now.
Is that scenario you just said, Alex? Is that feasible? Like, is that attainable? Like a young centerman? I mean, all due respect to Mr. O'Reilly, Mr. One good year of NHL. I mean, he's a good. Like, does he bring a haul back? Like, is there someone out there you could get who could actually come in here and right now help you down the middle?
Yeah, probably not right now. No, I mean, I maybe haul is not the right word. I think you could get a pick and you could get a good young prospect for him, and maybe that's someone that you could see as an offensive player. Especially because O'Reilly has another year left on his contract, so like it's not just a rental.
They're going to get a lot for him if they move him at the deadline.
Yeah, especially the way he's playing. I mean, like he has been very good. I think he's just number 1 or number 2 on the team in points, and he's still got a ton left in the tank, and he's a proven player in the playoffs. I think a lot of teams would want him. I mean, I had no idea where he'd want to go. But, New Jersey, Carolina, Pittsburgh, maybe, anywhere like that would be willing to buy a guy like that at the deadline and say, let's go win in the playoffs.
Yeah. Like the other part of this too it feels like, and you could, I don't know about you, Alex, you could kind of feel it in the room the other night. Like they're running out of answers. Like, you defend well one night, you can't score. Stamkos was talking about that. You score 4 and then you don't win that game. And they're 5-8-4, and they're 5-8-4. They're running out of time to really get this thing corrected here, because the other part of this is the West is absolutely loaded. Like, their division's loaded. Now you've got teams like Anaheim that are just, Quenneville's got them firing on all cylinders. They're 11-3-1 to begin the year. The other part of it, like, there are some good teams right now that aren't even in the playoff mix. Like, Edmonton's just above the Predators right now. We all know how good Edmonton is. So I guess what I'm saying is, it is almost, to me, living in fantasy land to think that this team is just going to snap out of it at some point this year and be good and be challenging for a playoff spot. And I just wonder, mentality-wise, with some of these veteran players that they have, how long is it before they just start to shift, and how many of them want out at that point?
Yeah, and I think, if we asked them that, they'd probably be like, well, we're just going to take one game at a time, and it's, we got to just try to win the game ahead of us, right? But yeah, you mentioned Anaheim, like even Chicago right now. Chicago's 8-5. Utah is really good. You've got the King out west. There's a ton of teams that are better than the Predators right now. The Kings, the Kraken are pretty good. Vegas obviously is very good. Anaheim, like you said, it's like there are so many teams ahead of them, not only in the standings but in their development of their young teams. I mean, like, Anaheim's a good example. Like, they have so many good young players that are playing good right now, and they're just like they're ready to go, right? They've got a good young goaltender too. So it's like the Predators are in probably the worst position to try to just they have to just hope that it gets better, and because they can't really move anything around. They're landlocked here in terms of what they've done with their contracts, and we've had conversations about, like, whether Barry Trotz is the guy for this job. I think that the jury's still out on that. I think that honestly, his draft picks so far have looked pretty good. I mean, if we're going to give him credit for things, like, the drafting has been pretty solid so far. Though a lot of these guys who they drafted have looked really good in their respective leagues. Like Igor Surin right now is tearing up the KHL, and they got some good prospects. I'm like, so if you give him credit for that, I mean, you have to give him credit for things like that. But the roster construction side of this has been, I mean, it's been pretty close to a disaster so far, and you can't ignore that, because that's how you win games is building a roster that makes sense and that can win games in the regular season enough to get to the playoffs and then win the playoffs. So right now, it's nowhere close to what you need.
All right, last thing for you here, and I want to ask you this because this is it's becoming a larger talking point around the league. I saw Jesse Granger put this out, and pretty much everybody in Edmonton's talking about this right now. The goalie situation in Edmonton is bad. I mean, Stuart Skinner is not good. They just gave up 9 to Colorado the other night. And the conversation has already started in Edmonton and around the league of the Oilers need to do whatever it takes to UC Saros. So if you're Barry Trotz and the Predators, do you listen to that? Like, how much consideration do you give to that if Edmonton approaches you pretty aggressively trying to get your
Come
goal?
on down, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, just if they could ship the Predators Leon Draisaitl, that'd be just fine. I mean, yeah, you certainly listen to it. I would be willing to bet that the price will be just too high right now. I bet that. Well, I don't know. In thinking about it, I think that the balance here is that Saros has the long contract, right? Like, would they be willing to take that on? And he hasn't been like outstanding, right? He's probably been better than Stuart Skinner, but is he worth, like, giving up a bunch for him? Because you've got the contract, and that just kind of muddies things. Like, how do you balance the return with what they have to take on in order to take that goalie? I mean, I would, if I was running things, I would definitely consider doing that, especially because, like, the Predators' goaltending has not really been the issue. I mean, Justus Annunen has not been great to start this season, not nearly as good as he was last year, but it has been the offense that's the issue. So if you can find a way to improve your offense by dealing the goaltender, I think you have to do it. And also, like, they've got some good prospects on the way. The goaltender they just drafted is, like, he's just like breaking records up at Michigan right now. He looks really good. So I think there's definitely something to say about, you don't need to think about UC Soros being the guy for 6 years and thinking that that's the thing that's holding you back. You've got options there. So I would definitely consider it.
Alex Daugherty does a great job covering the Predators for the Tennessean. He has been our guest. Alex, thank you for being with us this morning, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
We'll react to what Alex had to say, get your final thoughts on the NFL, your final thoughts on Vanderbilt, the Predators, any way you want to take it. Coming up next, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Ian Safar here with you. Appreciate Alex Daugherty for being with us in the last segment. Let's head to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Welcome in Trey to the program. Trey, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
There's no problem. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, I just want to say that I wanted to comment on Cam Ward, and I just wanted to say that I think that he has the physical attribute to be a quarterback in this league for a long time, but I don't think he has it upstairs really mentally as far as like when the coach calls a play, and I don't think he can visualize that play and then execute those plays on the field. And I think that, eventually he probably will get it, but how long do we have to wait for it? And do y'all think that he's going to progress in the future or not? And I just want to say that, this is the bare minimum I would like to see from Cam Ward. I want him to win 2 consecutive games in a row and throw for 250 yards in both of those games. Do y'all think he's capable of doing that? And I shut up, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Trey. Joe, your thoughts?
I mean, can we? He didn't even play this weekend. Can we give the kid a break for a week? No, I don't. To answer your question, Trey, yeah, I mean, could he progress? Sure. You want him to win 2 straight games and throw for 250 yards? Do you take into account the team that's around him? I'm not saying that he doesn't have a hand in everything that's going on out there, but do you take that into account? You need to take that into account.
Yeah, I mean, this Tennessee Titans team winning 2 consecutive games. Can they win 2 games in general, first off? But winning 2 in a row the rest of the year?
As Jake Lyman points out behind me, it's been 3 years since that's happened.
That's not happened. It's just
it had nothing to do with Cam Ward.
Doesn't seem like that's gonna take place.
Yeah, but hey, I appreciate coming right out Monday with some more hatred for Cam Ward after he, did not play football this weekend. He got some leftover Cam Ward issues. So let me quickly, Robbie, I want to go back on the Daugherty point on O'Reilly and all that stuff.
Yep.
I don't doubt that you can get prospects picks back for O'Reilly, but I do doubt that you can get a centerman who would make a difference for you down the middle while Stamkos is still active. Like that, that to me seems like asking a lot.
No, I agree. No, I think, look, Ryan O'Reilly, people are going to be salivating over at the trade deadline this year. And the Predators could have traded him last year. They didn't do it. I understand why. He didn't want to go anywhere. He may not want to go anywhere this year, but he doesn't have a no movement clause. And I know the Predators tried to do right by him last year and treat him as if he did have one. You got to move him this year. I'm sorry. You got to move. If it continues to go this way, first off, he's playing well. Secondly, he's got 1 year left on his deal after this. They're going to have to move him.
And he's miserable after the games. The
Well,
poor guy.
yeah,
I mean, just for that alone, he needs a little change of
I
scenery.
think that's clearly been his entire life, but yes.
Yeah.
They won the Stanley Cup. I really deserve a consummate. Not really.
Poor guy.
I didn't want to play Gloria.
I had one good shift the whole playoffs.
Did you see me miss? Did you see me lose that face off in the second period?
I think.
Did you see that?
I'll put it this way. I think they will be able at the trade deadline to get a first-round pick plus for him. I think they will get a first-round pick plus pretty good prospect for him. And that's probably good enough to make the move at that point. Now, I'm with you. I don't think they're getting a centerman that's going to make a difference for Steven Stamkos. And look, I don't want to completely absolve Steven Stamkos of blame because he's not been good, not been perfect here. But again, he scored 2 goals last week where you look at it and it's like, well, he hasn't forgotten how to shoot the puck. I mean, it was just, I don't know if you saw that goal Saturday night. It was an absolute rocket. I mean, there are only a certain amount of guys in the league that can score that goal. And it's not a good fit here. Very obviously not a good fit.
Meanwhile, the Saros to Oilers thing. I mean, that kid,
Edmonton is going crazy.
That's got potential for us for some topics.
Their goalie is going. I mean, Edmonton's goalie's awful. You just had McDavid commit for a couple of years, but they're bad right now.
But to me, if they believe that Saros is the answer, then that's when you take the pain later to do it now.
Yeah.
And with the cap going up the way it is, I don't think it's a prohibitive for the Oilers to do it. It's just a question of what are you getting back?
They're talking a lot about it right now in Edmonton. I know that. That's going to do it for us today here on the program. We will be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Next Man Up with Jake Lyman coming up next. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.